Oh, you know what? That's my own fault. I wasn't leaned out nearly enough. Jesus, what a clown show that was.
Actually, taking off from the other way
Oh,
was
now I
better.
see. I think I went to the wrong location to land.
Oop, here we go.
So what you all into? Any kit? I got my Fox 2, which is it's gotta be an unrealistic plane. I asked P-42 like, is this Fox 2 real? I went up to 30,000 feet and it still could have kept going.
The Fox 2 is a modified one, so no, it's not realistic. Just basically meant for fun.
Yeah, I figured that. But I thought it could still be modified, like in the real world, you could still modify these planes with a more powerful engine, but then it's gonna be heavier. So apparently, it doesn't feel any heavier than the regular Fox.
I don't know unless you go and look at the files.
Probably just went to Notepad and changed the settings.
Yeah, the Fox 2 Stage 1 and Stage 2 were a couple of GG's. Fun mods for that one. So.
Yeah.
Some nice cloud formations with intermittent showers this morning. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, makes a change.
Yeah, it is.
There's some
Hey,
nice
Dark,
ones.
if you
There's
try
some
setting
nice-
autopilot in the Bonanza, does it just absolutely spaz out and like barrel roll? Because I just set my heading and altitude, and it just ignores it all, does a barrel roll, like keeps trying to do a barrel roll.
That's weird.
Sure, your yaw damper's on.
There's some nice rainbow in our back.
Okay, so let me do this nav.
Oh, so we are going to Fuji today.
Yep.
Oh, this plane is made for it.
Nav.
I've just got like, yeah, altitude, heading, and that's it. Put on autopilot. Like I've set my heading on the gauge right in front of the yoke, and the altitude to 5,000 feet, and it just does a barrel roll straight away.
Do you have your CDI set to GPS? Or are you just using nav? Because I set it to follow the nav to follow GPS, and it seems to be doing okay.
Which is the button to set it to GPS?
Above your
You can
altimeter.
There's a button on the top of the dashboard.
Or on the GPS itself, it's the CDI button.
CDI?
Yep.
What
Below
should
that
it be
one
set to?
button.
GPS.
Yes.
GPS.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was set to by default, and I'm still like, yeah, it still just wants to kill me.
What's your autopilot say? It should be like AP, nav, and altitude.
Yeah, and it just wants to kill me. Yeah, it just took me into the ground.
That's weird.
I can see that. It's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Mine's behaving normally.
I don't think it's a special autopilot. It's the same autopilot that's in the.
Yeah, exactly. Like and it just goes wild. I'm not quite sure why.
I had a similar issue with the X-Cup. Not that it tries to actively kill me, but it just wouldn't want to go where I want to set it to. Just wouldn't go for the next waypoint.
Sometimes, like, did you crash on takeoff initially, or hit the ground really hard?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Sometimes, like, these autopilots do weird stuff. Like if the plane, like if you slam into the ground or land really hard or something like that, for whatever reason, it can mess up the autopilots. and they think they're in a different orientation than they are when you go to reactivate them, and so they'll just act really weird. Sometimes if you go into slew mode and back out, it'll correct it. Like it reorients whatever the plane thinks that orientation it's in. I haven't had that issue in a while, but I used to have that with like the first release of the Kodiak and stuff. It would just like you put it in autopilot and be like, okay, I'm just gonna bank really hard and just basically go in circles for no reason.
Yeah, for me it's usually the XCOM, and I don't know why, because it's also
It
one
is
of
weird.
these standard autopilot systems that we find in other planes as well.
You guys making a left? It seems like on my flight plan, going straight here. Oh, are we?
I'm
just waiting.
turning around to catch up to you guys. I was getting a bit far ahead of you while I was trying to figure out autopilot stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know how you fix it. The big button that says AP on it, press that until the light goes out.
Then
By
you
my
could do it.
hand.
Why didn't I think of that?
No, right now I'm captured with my altitude and my nav, so it is all happy. It is flying normal.
Yeah, I think something a bit screwy's going on. Maybe my shitty takeoff or something. I don't know.
Had a bunch of random stuff do that before, so it's. Like I said, sometimes going in and out of slew mode will fix it. But yeah. Let's go. I'm gonna do a circle here. Get back in the group.
Someone is lighting up right now. Holy moly.
Lighten up.
Smoking that.
Oh,
stuff.
at your place?
Yeah. I'm in a fourplex and someone's just. Holy crap.
Bridge.
Yeah. I was in New Orleans last week. That's why I wasn't here, and basically everywhere around the French Quarter was like that.
Yeah.
It
like
seems to have fixed now. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Does the stagger wing always tend to pull to the left really bad?
I don't
I've noticed with these. Is the stagger wing a Carenado?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that with this one too. Typically, you have to. I've noticed with airplanes, they tend to bank left a lot, so you have to put in a little bit of right aileron trim.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been trying that. I don't think this plane has aileron trim.
You should be able to force it through keybinds.
I do that with the kitbox as well, but I use rudder trim.
Yeah, you can use rudder trim too.
Did the Beach 18 do that too? I'm thinking about getting it.
Yes.
No.
It rolls for me.
Mine seems to be behaving normally. The only real issue that I have with the Beach 18 is there is this strange sound bug that when you switch on the booster for the engine start, it takes some doing to get it off again, and it's a really annoying sound. Other than that, it's a really nice plane.
Yeah, I like the Beach.
Where's the vertical speed switch? Like, to set vertical speed?
So underneath.
It's the same as in the Mooney.
Yeah. God, you.
It
What
should
was that?
be below on the lower left-hand side of the yoke. There is a dial where you can set the altitude that you want. There's a button, and if you push that button, then it will automatically go for plus minus 500 feet per minute, just like in the Mooney.
You can also pull the small knob on your altitude alerter,
Yeah.
and that'll change it to feet per second.
You calling it small
Feet per
knob.
minute. Feet per minute.
Oh, hang on. It's
Did you find it? The
yeah. You
controller?
right click and hold it. On the altitude set, you click the little button, hold, then hold right click,
Right.
to make it work.
Yeah, the Mooney has the same dial.
There you go.
I can't really get it working though.
You have to hit the, if it's not doing it, you have to hit engage to get it to come on. The ENG and then arm.
Oh, herp derp. Yep, gotcha.
There you go. Then just set your.
Yep.
And it'll
Sick.
default to 500 feet per minute, but you can go in, you can pull that knob and set your VS if you want to climb faster or slower or whatever.
Yep, sick. Got it. Thank you.
That's actually the first autopilot that I learned because the Mooney was the first plane that I had used that actually had a somewhat complicated autopilot.
Yep.
Yeah, I've worked with all these instruments in past life, but it's like trying to relearn it now that, because I don't fly this old stuff very much anymore, but.
Buzzing trees in a bonanza. Woo.
Get my EGT set. There we go.
Perfect. Bridge.
I find myself flying the X-Cup quite often these days. Nobody's more surprised than me because I didn't touch it for a month or so.
I wonder if the Kodiak 900 is gonna come out soon. So they'll just announce that plane in real world. I mean,
You heard that the next world upgrade is going to be Canada?
Love that.
yeah, and they PPD'd the Sim Update 10, but it seemed like a good move because people were like very critical of how Sim Update 10 was performing. Apparently,
Ouch.
so this just gives us a few more weeks to actually enjoy the sim before they ruin it again.
I want DLSS. I want that like learning.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, if it works properly.
Okay, I'll play the dummy. What is DLSS?
So basically, it uses your CPU, I think CPU, to guess pixels in between other pixels. So you can actually run the sim at a lower resolution, I guess, and AI calculates the blank pixels to fill in the gaps. So imagine running the sim at, like, you've got a 4K monitor. If you run it at 2K and then AI gets the rest of the pixels, you're saving on, like, you know, cranked resolution and frame rate there,
Cool.
and offloading some of it onto your CPU.
What do I do if I'm already at the lower end of the hardware requirements?
As long as you've got an RTX card, DLSS will work. So if you enable it, you'll even on the lower RTX cards, you'll you should get a lot higher frame rates and be able to crank up some of the other things in the sim.
I assume it offloads to a core that isn't actually being used by the sim.
Correct.
I'm guessing the RTX is the successor of the GTX.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Then
It
doesn't
started
help-
at the 2 series card.
Then it doesn't help me at all. I just checked.
No. Yeah.
Honestly,
you'll have to do
it's game changing. Hey, it's brilliant. Like, if I crank absolutely everything in Cyberpunk on my 4K monitor, I'm lucky to get 25, 30 FPS. With DLSS on, I'd get like solid 60.
Wow.
Damn.
Guess I gotta go buy another video card and a new monitor.
The good thing is
Any
that
excuse will do, right?
the 3000 series cards are continuing to go down in price.
Yeah, just keep
and they
hanging.
They
hanging out
just
for
said
them.
that they're everybody thought that we'd hit the bottom on those now, but it sounds like Nvidia's gonna be dropping the price on those again here before too long. So
Yeah, I'm
Did
still
you have
rocking my 2080, but I heard that, I mean, at least from what I've observed, there's like no real reason I feel I need to get the 3000 series since I have a 2080 already.
Yeah, I personally I usually skip a series.
I'm rocking
I mean,
a
I'm running
1080.
this on, I'm running this on 2-year-old hardware now. I mean, I got my computer right after the pandemic started, but I really splurge on it. Don't get me wrong. So I don't think it's obsolete or anywhere near outdated yet.
Mine's not obsolete yet, but it could do with some hardware upgrades.
Yeah, I'm still running a
Quality of
2080
life.
Ti.
I've
Yeah, I
got
got
a,
a
I've got a,
2080 also.
I've got a
2080
1080.
Super actually.
I'm gonna wait
That's
for
what I
the,
have.
I'm gonna wait to see this update before I decide whether or not to go for 3000
Yeah.
series.
I've still got a 1080.
2080 was a hot card when I bought it 2 years ago.
I went from a 970 to a 3070.
Well,
What a night difference.
Bit up the leap.
I'm still running a 1050.
Tell you what, I think the best graphics card I ever had was the 1080 Ti. That thing was
what I've
just an
got.
absolute beast. Lasted forever. And it wasn't until I got a 4K monitor that it started to show its age.
Yeah, I'm running it on a laptop, so monitoring is not really an issue for me.
Yeah, well, I'm running at 4K and I've got 30 frames locked, so I'm still quite happy with it. It would just be occasionally nice to be able to bump that frame rate up a bit or
Yeah, I'm running at 4K with 80% scaling, and I'm getting about 40 FPS right now. But I've got full faith in DLSS being able to get to 60 with scaling at 100%.
have you
Yeah.
got full faith in the Sobo not screwing the feature or something?
Well, at least DLSS is, you know, that's a lot of NVIDIA framework there.
Well, I mean, well, I'm in VR, so it's a whole different ballgame. I hope it. But do you think the DLSS will actually benefit that too? It should, right?
Should
But yeah,
would give VR users a lot of headroom.
Yeah, because I mean, I have nowhere near the highest settings. I don't think you even can with VR. With any
No.
graphics card in this.
I think
Yeah,
Rocket
I'm rendering the
has
game
the
twice,
3090.
basically.
Rocket had the 3090 and he was running Ultra in VR just fine.
yeah, but VR's also, well, you're trying to run the game 3 times, and
Is it
at least
3 times? I thought it was twice.
it's shit. I've been out of the VR game for a little bit now, but VR resolution is a hell of a lot less than 4K, but you need the frame rates, otherwise it just starts like skipping, and that's when you get motion sickness and
Oh
headache.
yeah. Well, I don't think
Yeah,
a motion
and-
sick. It just destroys the experience.
Yeah,
Well, you get the
need these
ghosting as
confused.
well. If you're looking around with, I think it's 71 or 72 FPS is like target for VR, for like smooth VR.
Yeah, so that means you get basically 36, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's about what I get. I think it's like 20 to 30s, but it's doable. But yeah, I mean, I'm not ultra, but I'm definitely not like minimum or anything like that, because then that also just ruins the immersion. But yeah, hopefully this DLSS will make a big difference. But haven't they already like souped up VR performance like since when they first implemented it? They
Like XR Toolkit or whatever, they did some changes that improved a lot of stuff. But
yeah.
Honestly though, there's nothing like DLSS. It's honestly a must-have, and you really like graphics-heavy kind of games. I'm stoked that it's coming.
Yeah, I'd say that if they can implement it right, that would definitely be a huge help. I could probably up, but I don't know if you see I should up my settings. It just means that my current settings will be better.
Yes, yeah. Just leave it at what your current settings are, and like get into game with DLSS on, and see how your FPS is like,
Yeah, that's
and then
easier.
increase from there.
Yeah, usually what happens when they roll out an update, sometimes all my graphics settings get reset anyway, though. That's what I noticed.
You can go into the user. You can find the user CFG and make that read only. And it won't reset your your settings, or at least make a copy of it in case they decide they want to add some more stuff to that file, some more settings, which they did like a few sim updates ago, when they like changed the way that like your terrain, LOD and stuff worked and whatnot. So there was a few more lines of config that were added in that, but that's usually what I do. I just set that user CFG to read only, so when they update the sim it can't, or I'll swap it out for I'll make a copy of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because yeah, Sobo's bad about doing that. It's really annoying to go back and reset all your stuff.
Yeah, I've just got a backup on a OneDrive somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I always mess up is the NVIDIA filters. And I've got
Yeah.
a screenshot of all my settings for that.
I gotta.
Because every time I've loaded a new driver, of course, it loads
Yeah,
away
you
all the
lose them,
filters.
right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I gotta ask Dragon if you've still got those ones I gave you, because I updated them and erased mine again, and I keep forgetting to do
Sure
backups.
do. Pretty sure I do.
I'll ask you later. Not right now, but yeah, I was like, I thought I took a picture last time I asked. I asked you about it, and I was looking through my folders. I was like, well, can't find it. I'm gonna have to ask him again.
Yeah, but then again, they can only really improve this particular game so much. Like, in 10 years, I'll have to develop a new flight sim altogether that would need the graphics cards of that era, whatever those are going to be.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, they've put so much into this one, you know, and they're continuing to improve, especially on like the flight characteristics and things like that. I think it's. Oh, there was a
10-year lifespan game, they reckon. So
yeah.
that's a lot of updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Wolf.
Yeah, if you just want to shoot me a screenshot of it. And
I did.
DMs. Cool, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so in 8 years' time, the screen goes black.
Right. Or Microsoft decides to abandon it and we're stuck with it. God, I hope not. That's the only problem with having a live game, though, is that if they do decide, yeah, it's just not worth pursuing anymore, then you lose all the terrain.
Halo Infinite was also meant to be a 10-year lifespan game, and it's not even at Gamescom this year. It's like their headliner is Flight Simulator.
Good. Well, Halo Infinite really kind of went by the wayside, and no, I tried, but the problem is that well, I don't know who the games really get marketed to, but I tried to find decent people to play with. They really just can't. I mean, the people that I tried to join Discord, they made me want to tear my hair out.
Yeah, they're a very toxic community.
Well, they're also very young and immature. You really want to play with 13-year-olds? I mean, really?
Free to play microtransaction filled bullshit, man. Like, always attracts the same kind of people. Just dicks.
That's the way a lot of those games are now, you know.
I mean, I've been enjoying playing Golf Plus on the VR with 13-year-olds. Because they're pretty good at golf.
I mean, this is really all I play in terms of PC gaming now, because it's like, my age, you know, how can I have fun playing a Call of Duty game anymore? I mean, really?
Yeah. And they shove all that FOMO bullshit in there, so like, you have to play every week and all this crap. I don't want to do that. Respect my fucking time.
Nah, not that kind of FOMO doesn't really wake me up. The only FOMO that wakes me up is when my friends are planning a big trip somewhere, and it's like, yeah, I gotta be on that, like an actual real trip. That's FOMO to me.
I think the way Flight Sim's done it, like, as much as they haven't sold it as a flight Flight Sim is a live service game, but it's live service done properly.
Watch out for the power lines. They hang low over the valley.
Yeah, except that this game is probably, if anything, even more expensive than a microtransaction game in general, because you can spend like on these like study level jetliners, you spend $100 on each of them, but
Yeah, but
good.
the
It's
hours
just
that you put
money
into
well
it, man,
spent,
like
yeah.
But then something else.
Apex was selling skins for $60. Like a fucking skin. Imagine paying
Skins?
$60 for a livery.
Oh, they were $60 for just a skin? Oh,
That
my God.
60 Australian, but like still, that's a video game. That is a full price video game.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, they still sell it for the same price everywhere. So you guys get video games for cheaper then, right? If it's still $6.
I'm in Canada now, and it's about 10% cheaper than in Australia for video games.
Yeah, but it costs loads of money to ship it all to Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Well,
Steam.
Takes more bandwidth to get.
Takes more
done.
bandwidth to.
Well, I don't think that's what was the problem. The problem was that Australia had all these censorship
tax.
rules. Like Grand Theft Auto games are always
Oh, yeah,
banned in
that too.
Australia.
No, they rejigged those not too long ago, and now it's opened the floodgates a bit. But yeah, old boomers making rules about how R-rated movies are okay, but R-rated games are not.
Try coming to Germany.
Yeah, I don't.
If you think
Yeah.
Australia's hard. Try doing anything related to World War II in Germany. If there's one swastika somewhere, it's already it's getting hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems to be a bit of a soft spot for you guys for some reason.
Well, I think
yeah,
in Germany,
I mean, I can see the point, but it's if you make a historical game.
Right.
Exactly.
And then and there in this plane is an airplane with a swastika, which is historically accurate for the time.
Right.
Yep.
I don't really see why this is an issue. I mean,
Yes.
I'm certainly okay with not promoting Nazi socialism or whatever in a video game or in books or whatever just for kids. But if this is a game or a movie or something which takes place in that period of time, seriously.
Right. If there's a historical aspect.
yeah, I think even in Germany they're allowed to use the symbol if it's like in that context.
Yeah, but only if it's art. A video game is not art. If it's a movie, you can do it occasionally, but if it's in a video game, you have a real problem.
Well, maybe
Video
it's
game is nothing but art. And
Yeah.
programming.
I was gonna say maybe the people in the Reichstag have to go sit down and have a have a next debate over whether it's art.
Why are bridges so shit in this game? Like those cars are driving through the lake instead of over the bridge that's been modeled.
That's why I fly at like 4,500.
You don't see the shit bits.
Yeah, I always fly high because it always looks better.
Oh, they're
Fly
checking
high,
this,
we missed
the
all the
on-trade
stuff on the
rate.
ground.
I
Well,
just
pretty
turned
soon.
traffic off.
All of you are gonna be flying higher when we get to
Bridge.
waypoint 8.
Are they driving on the left-hand side of the road? I forgot to check.
They're
Oh, I
good
don't
about
know.
that. They know what side of the road that the car should drive on in this game, apparently.
Not true.
Really? I thought that it did look that maybe they changed it, but at least it seemed like it actually was faithful.
The highway down.
I think when I was in the flying in the UK, I saw the cars driving on the left-hand side. But I haven't checked
Quite
here.
often they're on the right in the UK when they should be on the
Weird.
left.
But that's the Brits. You don't know. You know how they are.
Why they're driving at all? Shouldn't they all be standstill traffic?
Yeah, I mean they only drive on the left when there's no Germans on the road.
Even though we don't, we're still figuring out the 8-sided sign.
Yeah. Oh man, if you can't fit under that bridge, you've got trolls.
Right.
I'm always wary of flying under bridges in this game because sometimes it's like you hit a bounding box, a wall
Yeah.
or something.
Usually that happens after they do like the 3D geometry or photogrammetry, and they update a bunch of bridges and stuff. And then you go like, oh, that looks really nice, and you go fly under it, and it's just a wall.
Whap.
Wow, this is it. It's Russian roulette, isn't it?
Right.
Gotten very good at camouflaging dams as bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
It is pretty nice out here, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Now that
play
we're
it.
out of the rain, you can see a bit.
Well, we're going back into it. Right over top of these mountains. At least I am.
Keep it interesting.
I think I'm gonna buy the bonanza when we're done here.
I like it. I don't usually go for these types of planes, but it's actually pretty nice. It's got a few bugs, but it's a nice flyer.
That's my problem. I have so many of these planes. I have the Mooney. I have the other VTail bonanza. This is actually exactly the kind of plane that I like.
Yeah, I
have so
got
many
you.
of them.
The other V-tail.
Yeah, there is one other VTail that somebody made.
Which
VR
also
designs.
doesn't fly bad. I bought it when it first came out.
It doesn't fly bad,
VR
but-
Simulations or somebody.
Yeah, VR design,
It's-
yeah, but it doesn't fly bad. But I think there has been some issues with the latest update because I don't have any CHD anymore. It just doesn't move.
Is it like one of these bonanzas, or is it just a different V-tail?
No, it's like one of these kind of, except the graphics on those are so much better, more to scale and everything.
Yeah.
The graphics on the Carenado are what you'd expect from Carenado.
Is the one that released, is it an older one like this one, or is it more updated?
I think the from VR is older than the one from Coronado.
Oh really? Okay.
It has fuel tips or tip tanks. So
Yeah, it's
it
got
actually
tip
has
tanks.
It has a wider range.
Gotcha.
Well, the tanks are wrong on this one.
Yeah, I think I just hit that problem you guys were talking about, where there's still fuel in the tank, but my engine just cut out.
Yeah, you'll hit 6 gallons of unusable.
That's correct, but the tank size is incorrect.
I hit 3 and it cut out.
Yeah, you'll get
Yep.
3 per
Ah,
side.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that's actually correct. But
I
the
noticed that
tank
last.
size is wrong.
See, because when I loaded up the flight plan for last week's to catch up, and it just basically I did a loop. Instead of stopping at the glider field, I went all the way back, and I got just to the edge of the mountains, and I ran out of fuel, and I was like, well, we're gonna see how far we can glide, and I was able to glide all the way from the edge of the mountains back to the airport. But I was at like 6,500 feet, but I was really surprised that I was able to glide it that far.
But you see what I was talking about, right? On the photo channel
Mm-hmm.
about the tanks in Sim Max is 22, but the Bonanza actually has 25-gallon tanks.
Sure. Well, hopefully maybe they'll
And
fix
then-
that. We'll see.
And then I look down and I see that we are actually supposed to have according to our fuel shutoff or fuel.
Oh, on the switch, the
Yeah,
switch.
the fuel
kinda.
switch.
Yep.
It says that we have 40-gallon tanks, so we definitely don't have 40-gallon tanks.
Yeah.
Is that Fuji peeking above the clouds there?
It sure is.
What a rad reveal that was.
Yeah.
Coming through the
That's
range and
awesome.
then that.
That's kind of why I set up this line.
As I'm flying through this extremely dense cloud, and I just see the terrain just kind of starting to loom out in front of me. I'm like, I'm too low.
This is the point where I'm really grateful for kinesthetic vision in the X-Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did all of Alaska with no synthetic
No
vision.
synthetic.
No water pilot either.
No. That
I don't
was
like
an
Yeah, to be fair,
experience.
I'm flying the X-Cup, so
Jeez, I can't tell if that's a terrain or just the clouds denser. Jesus.
It's just a cloud, honestly.
How'd that go? Get up here.
Trust
Don't
me.
know if I trust you.
They gotta fix their snow cover because at this time of year, even the top of Mount Fuji should not have snow.
Well, it just depends on when the imagery was taken, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
of
they can only
course.
do so much.
They've been pretty good in general at making sure the imagery doesn't have like any snow cover, and they can change the seasons will.
Well, I mean,
Do they change the seasons in this?
Well, you have
No,
Rex
not at the
Haku
moment.
season
Um,
that can do that for you.
yeah, the Rex
It
just
doesn't
changes
do snow
the
cover, though.
trees though. It doesn't do
Yeah.
the terrain textures, which is what Four Seasons tried to do. He was doing terrain masks, but you'd run into some weird loading issues and stuff like that, where it would kind of like gradually like pop in front of you like the masks and stuff. So you had a weird like grid thing going on.
Yeah, I mean the previous flight sims had seasons, but I guess it might have been easier to implement in the days before we used like satellite
Well,
imagery. And all
right,
that.
you weren't streaming satellite imagery, so
Yeah, it's still on their roadmap though.
yeah.
So hopefully it'll
No, I
happen at
know
some
they're
point.
they're gonna try to do something about that at some point.
Well, there is a short-term fix. Like just don't fly in areas where the seasons actually change the way the ground looks. Just fly in the tropics.
Yeah.
What I found interesting was that they said they're looking into Africa because that's really some continent that needs some work, and I'm really looking forward to them treating Africa the way they treat North America. Because,
Yeah, I know they're
would be
working on
awesome.
Africa and South America right now. So maybe
I want
we'll
the
see.
Caribbean to get a decent upgrade. There's so many cool little islands in there, and they're just like shit.
Right. They need to get the terrain masks and everything sorted out, or not the water masks and stuff sorted out. And I was pretty disappointed that we didn't see more water mask updates with USA 2.0.
Alright, time to see this plane will just glide up the side of Fuji. I'm gonna try to be near ground level. With the Fox 2, since it's so unrealistically fast, I'm sure it could just shoot up the side. Just watch. You always turn around. It's not like I'm in a box canyon.
There are buildings on the side of Mount Fuji.
Yeah, there are actually quite a few buildings on
Yeah.
Fuji. They got all the
Bullfight
shrines
that you
and stuff
picked the
going
right livery for this plane.
What's that?
Red and chrome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was
Hot rod.
gonna fly the I don't know what color it is. That's that dark green, bluish, and chrome. I flew that one last night, but I was like, you know what? We're in Japan. We'll do the red and chrome.
Oh, I've crashed.
Oh
As in
no.
sim crash.
Easy as she goes. Oh shoot. I gotta maintain at least 4,000 per minute climb.
There's an updraft on this side of the mountain. Holy.
Yeah, we
That's
need
a nice ridge lift.
I think I might leave you at that point anyway. Go get some breakfast.
All right, man.
Thanks for the flight, guys.
Yeah.
I'll
Take care, man.
talk to you later.
Take care.
Yeah,
Bye.
Next
Take care.
All I'd say about Fuji is if it's windy on the slopes, then the downdrafts in the crater are pretty horrific.
Oh yeah.
That's funny
Yeah, so
because
far so
it's-
good.
somebody said earlier that there shouldn't be snow on Fuji.
Yeah,
The only time I ever saw Fuji was in August, and it did have snow on it.
really. Maybe the top.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's the same with Kilimanjaro. It's also always snow covered, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's high enough that you're gonna get some snow.
okay, that
Oh yeah,
was
there's
high.
some ridge lift right there.
Yeah.
I almost sea-fed that. You try to land in the crater?
No.
I'm sure I could do it.
You
Go for it.
could do it in the Kit Fox, definitely.
Go for it. Try
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I dare you. Meow.
I'm tempted. I don't know.
Do it. I dare
See
you.
how it looks.
Do it and you're cool.
Yeah, I went from
Oh,
1,000 feet a minute all
does
the
he
way
have
to
to-
3,000. Like
It's
real
fun to
quick.
I mean, I got the Kit Fox into Yankee Stadium once, sort of.
Kit Fox is pretty capable aircraft. You can get it in a lot of places.
But I had to come in right over, obviously center field where the Yankee Stadium sign is, where it's lowest, and then
Not
So
really
did they
bad.
call you out at the plate?
uh, I don't think there was anyone there that day, luckily. I think they were playing away at the time.
Ah. Alright, I gotta get some airspeed here if I'm gonna keep climbing.
Oh,
I'm going in.
oh yeah, man, we're definitely getting some lift. Getting bumpy too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
This is too sketchy.
I'm actually like a little bit.
When you're flying, you have to decide if it's okay or not. You don't let. There's no peer pressure in the air.
There we go.
The end's going for it. The end also died.
Send help. I'm dead.
Ben, help.
Me too.
Our Coast Guard is down?
Yep.
Ah, shit.
And down.
What's the Coast Guard doing on the mountain anyway?
Or in Japan for that matter. We're lost. We're lost. I think maybe one more trip around and might make the top. I don't know. I'm porpoising a good deal here, just trying to keep it out of stall. So unless I catch another
Oh, I almost stalled out.
unless I catch another updraft here, I don't know that I'm gonna make it.
I slammed into the ground. Side of the mountain.
Well, you were. I saw you. You were almost vertical there. I just been kind of climbing it as just a nice gradual, around about 80 knots. Every once in a while, I'll catch an updraft.
no.
I'll get to about 2,000 feet.
We're out.
Uh-oh.
Nope, there's, oh baby, that was close.
Maxwell just did what I did.
Ah, I'm doing it again.
Oh no.
Crap!
Woo! Yeah, that's not gonna be good for whoever that pilot was.
Maxwell.
There's some
No.
ridge lift right there.
You could probably land, but just not in the crater. I could probably set it down right on that flat stretch on the rim.
Oh man, I'm hitting
Yeah,
some
I
really
wouldn't
nice ridge lift.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
DN,
the crater is
Yeah.
too rough anyway.
you know what a great time would be? To just call
Yeah,
it,
imagine.
call it.
Yeah.
Did you know that
Yeah.
BOAC
Well,
flight crashed because of this mountain in 1967, I think it was? It was a flight from Tokyo back to the UK, and it hit turbulence over the Mount Fuji because they were trying to give the passengers a view, and it crashed. And supposedly the cast of the movie You Only Live Twice that was filming at the time, they were supposed to be on that flight, but they postponed to see a sumo demonstration.
There is a Volanta marker inside the crater.
Yeah, it's me. It's British.
I'll have to come back here and get that one. I'm not gonna be able to get it in the Bonanza.
H145.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long
35.
climb.
Yeah.
Alright,
So, yeah.
stand by everyone. Stand by. Dead stick. Dead stick. Dead stick.
Jesus Christ.
Kidding me?
Okay, all dead sticks, and you're on top of the mountain. Appreciate that.
Well, at least I have altitude. I'm not dead sticking there. I could probably coast all the way to the finish. But I won't.
Not with this wind, I don't think.
Oh, oh, they need to fix their altimeter too. Just noticing that. In the Bonanza, it's reading like I'm at 1,700 feet when I should be at 10,700. I think. Is what-
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Oh,
this is gonna be a long way to dead
Oh
stick.
man, dude, I can glide forever.
No one said you had to go 59 knots.
Let's see.
No, it was worth the $15 to me.
Probably trim her out though here.
Like I told my wife, it's just too damn pretty not to buy.
I just wish I could stuff a 750 in it.
I'm sure JD will probably come out with one of his mods for it at some point.
Quite possible.
I think I see a general spot I can land on. Ooh.
Well, and working title after the NXI launch here, they're gonna go back and rework the 3000 and the 530 before the end of the year, I guess. So.
It's got a lovely open green field to land in. I am down.
I see that field.
Am I going the wrong way? I think I'm going the wrong way. Yep. This will be fun coming down through the clouds. Stupid.
There's an airport.
Stop.
Oh, bouncy, bouncy.
I went the wrong way.
Don't go in that ditch, Doc.
Is this also
Oh.
a halfway point, or
We're down. Yeah, this is halfway, 10 minutes.
Yeah, copy.
How'd everyone else do?
Still airborne.
Nice.
Still alive.
Landed up.
Somehow I lived.
Woohoo!
Nice. Yeah, don't follow me down. I landed somewhere very bouncy, so you gotta be really slow.
Are you in a ditch?
I'm not in a ditch necessarily, but it was a bouncy landing, and I will have to check the gear.
I think my fuel gauges are reversed.
Cool gauges are reversed. What?
Fuel gauges.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are reversed.
How are they reversed?
Like, I think it's reading the wrong one.
Mm.
The wrong tank.
Who's in the
Oh, I got you
TBM?
when you swap over.
Yeah, because I was just on the left tank, and I've been on the left tank for a while, and that's actually lower than my right tank.
Gotcha.
Who's A. Roberts in the TBM?
Don't know.
Wasn't he with us last week?
I don't know.
Might have been. We had that TBM that was with us.
Oh, Abe Roberts is dead.
I'm gonna park right here, gents.
That's rough.
Guy hit one of those wonderful walls that they have in the middle of the grass.
I see that.
I was with you guys 2 weeks ago. I didn't do the
Oh
sailing
yeah,
one.
that's right. That's right. I remember seeing the TBM. I'm just like doo 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 cruising. How's the grass over there, DN? Is it relatively flat?
It's flat in front of me and flat very far back, but just behind my tail is a big ditch.
Gotcha.
Or is it?
Or is it was a lie?
This thing does not want to climb hills at all.
Yeah, no. There's a road over there I might aim for. There's a golf course. Yeah, I think I might aim for this road. Keep her airborne as long as I can.
How far out from waypoint 10?
Uh,
Yeah, we're kind of halfway between waypoint 8 and 9 at the moment.
yeah.
Really, you're still trying to dead stick? Oh, I've already gone down.
I mean, everyone's down, I think, but
Except Wolf.
except for Wolf. He's just
And
gonna
that's just
glide all
because
the
she
way
wants to
home.
keep gliding. I'm just looking for a suitable spot to set down, that's all. I think I might have found a field that I can set down in. It looks like a nice straight, maybe grass field or a glider field, maybe. Gear down. I'm sure this is gonna suck, but we'll see. This is gonna suck. Yeah, actually not too bad. Open. It's because I've got the fuel switch off. That would do it. Be right back.
Holy crap, are they getting fired or what? I'm gonna get high just sitting here. Alright, that's 10 minutes. I mean, Wolf, you didn't get a whole 10 minutes, but.
Oh, that's fine, dude. I'm good. No worries.
Hey. Start your engines, ladies.
Let's see if I can find a good place to turn around here. Boost bump needs to be on. Oh, this is bouncy as hell. Oh god. Oh god.
Aux fuel pump operation, take off and land with aux fuel pump off, except in case of loss of fuel pressure. Oh, that's a big ditch. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Hands off.
Well, that was fun, children.
Yes, thanks for doing that.
I should have left the yaw dampener off on that, but that's okay.
So our next airport, Romeo Juliet Tango Yankee. Are we TNG or I guess we're full stop?
Just TNG.
TNG.
How's it go?
Well, I'm way ahead anyway. I'll just probably full stop and then wait.
Then you can watch the rest of us plan.
Yeah. Or TNG, as you said.
Those of you that are into vintage airplanes, I posted on the Vintage Aircraft channel. I had to go up to Kenai Airport, and Everett's Air Fuels has a C-46, so I was able to get up there.
Cool.
Nice.
During the work up there, and took a couple of flight deck photos. So it's for an airplane that was probably born in the 40s or thereabouts. That flight deck has seen some pretty good wear and tear, and it was raining pretty good when I took the flight deck photos, and they had napkins stuffed in places to keep the water from dripping all over the instruments. It was,
oh my
it was
god.
quite the classic look, but yeah.
So it looks authentic then.
I particularly like the fact that they're using bungee cords to keep the ailerons from flapping in the breeze.
Yeah, some of them old planes, man. I've had to get underneath the dash or two. Some of these old birds that these guys have been flying around for decades, and it's like, oh my god, this thing is just... I don't want to think about this thing flying over people.
Over people is one thing, flying with people to the in is another.
Well, yeah, exactly. Either or, you know.
Alright, Tokyo, here we come. Alright,
Oh.
12 frames also, here we come.
Wait, is this Tokyo already?
Yep.
I don't think so, because we landed Haneda at the end. And
No,
that
Tokyo
speaks to
is-
my position.
Tokyo
And I know that's
Haneda
actually where
International.
Tokyo. Yeah, it's the end. I'm saying the one they're approaching now, TY, is not Tokyo. They're northwest of it.
I was just saying in
Nice.
general, here we come,
yeah, we're
Tokyo.
getting really close
Right.
to the outskirts.
Oh yeah, Tokyo goes on forever.
See a dark star.
What's our end airport?
Tokyo Haneda International, RJTT.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, Wolf, they fixed the autopilot kicking on without me pressing any buttons issue?
Did they? Are you asking if they
I'm
did?
I'm asking if the next update will be fixed in that regard.
I I haven't had the issue, so I guess I would say yes.
Okay. Because it keeps kicking on and trying to trim me all the way up. And I'm not pressing any buttons.
I have not seen that behavior in the current builds that I have.
Cool.
So, I will say yes.
Sick. I'll hold you to that, for sure.
Yeah, so will I.
Never mind, fuel tanks are not switched. Fuel gauges are not switched.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, at this point they're waiting to push the update until after Sim Update 10 because they want to see, I think they're maybe taking a look at potentially what that'll entail because of the NXI more than anything. With that becoming a default instrument now. I also believe that they're looking to potentially add like flap indications and stuff like that on the MFD, like is on the actual unit, because they're opening that up a bit more to developers, but.
See, Melviz is looking to develop the C-130J.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that a couple months ago. But
yeah, I didn't know they were considering the J. I sent them an email. I said, if you guys are considering the H, let me know, because I'd like to be considered a technical advisor for it. But if they're going to do the J, I'm hoping somebody will do the H. Of course, I'm all H. They got an engineer position in the H. They don't have one in the J. So, but a Herc's a Herc in the sim.
I was gonna say, how much carryover is there between the two?
Not much.
Not very much.
Not
The
much.
engines are different. The props are different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that much. I just didn't know if there would be anything. You know what I mean? Like if there's anything that you could still give them technical advice on.
Oh, on the J, it'd be pretty hard. The basic systems are fairly the same, but without an engineer's panel, everything's, kind of auto electronic, so it'd be pretty hard. But
Gotcha. Well, it looks like Tokyo's gonna be socked in, boys.
Yep. Time to practice your ILSs.
I'm in the gravel. Not sure I could pull an ILS off.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah. That's cha-ching. That's a good one.
Wish you could, unless I'm missing something, I wish you could swing this yoke over to the other side, though. That'd be a nice little feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find a quick spot to do it, so I don't think it was.
That was like one of the first things I tried when I got in here. I was like, I wonder if you can swing the yoke over.
You can make it disappear. I think that's about all you can
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, shoot. Oh well.
I get to see if Tokyo is better tonight than it is now.
I mean, are you flying it again tonight?
No, I'm gonna fly up to where am I flying up to before I have to get out? RJTJ before I have to leave.
Gotcha.
I stand corrected. Apparently the C-130J was for the What's the other sim?
P3D.
P3D.
Yeah, I think it's a P3D. Let's see.
That would be my guess, is P3D. I can't see anybody investing any more development time on X-Plane 11 with X-Plane 12 right around the corner.
Oh yeah, P3D version 4 and version 5. This was posted in.
I'm just waiting for the SR-71.
Novus is doing that one too, aren't they?
Yep, I think so. Got the fuel leak and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it have realistic fuel leak on the ground?
I just want to throw matches and cigarettes in it.
Okay. Should probably do some more Dash 7 testing this weekend.
I'll rejoin you guys in a minute. My sim's just crashed.
Oh, bummer.
Uh-oh. First time forever.
Getting close to Tokyo. Everybody's locking up.
Yeah, that's what I worried about. That's why I said go light on this flight. And then I disregarded that for myself and totally forgot and loaded up fully packed. So we'll see how far we get.
Yeah, I'm running fairly light. That's basically what I need to see you guys for the most part. That's probably. Or did you see when you flip on the prop de-ice that the standby compass ticks back and forth?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It's supposed to do it. It does.
Yeah.
It does that. But I don't know if that ticking back and forth is technically correct movement behavior. It should probably just swing back and forth a little bit, but it like ticks back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like it feels like it's ticking off seconds on a clock.
Yeah.
They probably just set it to a standard.
It's like whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's got okay movement for a float compass. It should be a little bit more. It's okay. Yeah, it's a little bit too rigid for me.
Yeah.
Because I've messed with a bunch of these old standbys and they wobble a lot.
So it's more mechanical fluid.
Right. Tanks.
Yeah, my frames have dipped. Dipped a little bit.
Dipped a little.
Or decreasing.
Yeah, they need to do a bit better at optimizing their photogrammetry stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the first World Day came out, I used to just smash around the rooftops of Tokyo in the TV window. No problem at all.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, I think the one that's the biggest frame killer is the UK. For whatever reason, like I don't have issues really anywhere else, but anytime I'm around anywhere in the UK, I have a lot of problems.
London was a slideshow when it first came out.
It still looks like it's being nuked anyway.
Right. Yeah, they need to go back and redo
they need
that.
to go and reshape it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like Paris is also Nuketown a little bit.
Yeah, I think in general that update was pretty disappointing, unfortunately, just because of how poor the quality was of the photogrammetry.
With Asobo being where they in like France and it just looking so bad, you're like, what? Who?
Yeah.
What?
You're like, no, it's good. It's good enough. It's fine.
Yeah, but they're based in Bordeaux, and if you know anything about France, you know there's a huge difference between Paris and the rest of France. So maybe
That's
they were
fair.
making a statement or something.
Yeah, they're like, screw Paris.
And they also
that was
drink.
close.
And they also drink a lot of Bordeaux.
Right.
I almost lost my sim.
Oh, this is fine. Another guy. He's just been sitting over there, 65 feet.
You know, it's interesting that Melvis said that the C-130 is still being considered, but it's not confirmed at the moment. It's being worked on for the military, and we can't have that version.
What's that? The J model?
No, they just put down here in an update. They're just saying the C-130 Hercules.
Oh, C-130 in general. Huh.
Yeah. But I was curious.
Interesting.
I didn't know Melvis being worked on for the military. I find it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe Melvis has got their fingers in other pieces of the pie besides.
They do.
civilians at
That's
one.
why they want to split up the company because they work for military applications and they also work for entertainment applications.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
And that's what they call military visualizations. And I think originally they started doing simulations for the military, and now they want to split up the companies to two separate branches, one for military applications and one for more commercial endeavors like MS or something.
That's interesting. I was unaware of that.
That's why they want to. I think they will rebrand the commercial stuff to Blackbird simulations or something like that.
Interesting.
Well, maybe they'll take pity on the Coast Guard, put a Coast Guard Herc out H model, and that way they can stay away from the Air Force work or something. Or better yet, they could do an L-382. London Air Cargo flies stretch Hercs up here. That wouldn't be bad either.
Y'all are coming in the wrong direction for the wind.
Is that the wind blowing from the other direction?
Yeah.
I just want JP Herc. Everything else is.
Yeah, that's what I'm really.
With the wind. Everyone is.
I'm going in the wind.
I'll cross midfield and come around.
I'm going in the wind.
You're on the wind.
Yeah, but you're making a full stop now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the wind on my tail. I'm coming straight in as well. I'm aiming straight at dragons. Full speed tailwind touch and go.
Who's doing the taxiway touch and go? Love it.
I was trying to see the Woodstock.
Oh, where is
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was my bad.
No, you're good, man. We don't care. I just thought it was funny.
It was tempting.
Talk about densely populated. Oh my gosh.
Great. Yeah, and this is nothing compared to like downtown Tokyo. It's like crazy how dense the buildings are there.
People living on top of each other, right next to each other, every which way.
Right.
Oh, found some power cables.
Yeah, there's lots of those down here.
We can hear behind Wayland. I can slow down fast enough. Lead some speed.
You guys know of a good site that gives you a fairly basic concept of doing an RNAV approach without getting so crazy that I wouldn't be able to understand it?
Trying to think. I mean, RNAV is basically, if you load up an RNAV approach, you're basically just, it's relying on the GPS rather than ILS signals. You know, you're not necessarily hand flying it per se. So like if you're flying like an RNAV in like say like the 737 or anything else, as long as you've got vertical guidance, which some aircraft don't have that implemented, at least the basic ones don't. Really all you do is you dial down your altimeter, or your altitude basically down to your minimums. And the aircraft's just gonna follow the nav like it would anything else, like a normal flight plan. And you just let VNav, you know, do the thing, and it'll take it all the way down to the field for the most part.
So when you're doing the VNav, and that's always been kind of a gray area for me, when you set up, because I tried to do an RNAV approach yesterday into Ketchikan, and as far as vertical speed, you put when you look at the plate, or I guess I should say, when you select an RNAV approach into the FMS, it doesn't automatically set the altitude restrictions at the waypoints when you're doing the RNAV. You have to put those in manually, or does it know it already?
What aircraft are you using?
The PDMG, the 737.
Oh, so those restrictions should already be in it. I guess it depends on the RNAV too,
Right.
because some RNAVs are advisory only. But so you basically won't get that vertical guidance. It'll basically tell you where you should be at.
Right.
But the majority of the ones that I've flown, the altitude constraints are there. So like I haven't flown Ketchikan, so I can't speak specifically to that one.
Right.
But yeah, like I mean, you basically do it just like you're doing a standard ILS. So the only difference being is that I would dial my my altitude before the top of descent basically down to whatever 200-foot minimum for the field, and the 737 it'll follow it all the way down, and you don't have to activate approach or anything like that. You just leave it as it is in your LNAV and VNAV active, and it'll fly it all the way down. But I'll have to look at the Ketchikan one and see if that's like an advisory only RNAV or how that's set up.
Okay.
What were you having issues with though, particularly?
Well, not knowing whether or not I'm actually, I think the problem, I think now that you mentioned it, is I'm not setting my altitude to minimums on the so it doesn't capture, it doesn't capture the altitude restrictions as it's going down, even though I've got the RNAV selected. It sounds like, well, it won't unless it knows that it needs to descend, and it won't know that unless you've got your altitude alerter set for the missed approach point, or the your minimum altitude.
So I mean, like if you're flying at real life, or if you were like on VATSIM or whatever, if you actually have ATC guidance,
right,
you'd basically just set down to whatever they tell you to. But like, I don't fly with in-game ATC because it always makes me descend way too late. So before I hit my top of descent, like I'll look, because I use Navigraph. I guess there's some new option out there that's free, that you can get relatively up-to-date plates, but I'll look at like the deck altitude, which is basically the altitude that you hit the top of the glide slope at, and then I'll just set my altitude for that, and then you just leave your VNAV and LNAV active, and the aircraft will go down through. And if there's a restriction on your arrivals, it'll stop at those restrictions and then continue on as it goes down.
Okay.
It should anyway, but I don't know. Right. I'll have to look at. Let me see here. Is there even an arrival for Ketchikan?
Yeah, it's
a star.
Oh no, there's not a star. They've got the approach setup that's like over a net island, and then you arc back around. And then actually.
Well, it should still calculate the altitude, right. Basically, because it knows that field elevation for Ketchikan, so it should the FMS should calculate where your top of descent is,
right,
and go on down.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, all I ever do is just dial it down to the minimums, like 200 feet above field elevation. Right. You won't get auto landing or anything like that because it's just GPS guidance. But
well, I'm gonna plan a flight from Ketchikan up to Wrangell. It's about about 90 miles, but it's got an RNAV approach, and that'll be a good one to get a feel for how because there's a lot of places got RNAV approaches now.
What's the airport ID for that one?
It's PAWG, up Alpha Whiskey Golf.
Okay, Wrangell. Let me see what's.
They've got it's like an RNAV approach to runway 10.
So there's no stars, but yeah, it looks like RNAV. Yeah, standard RNAV GPS. Let's see what it looks like. Close this. So.
Mop, I guess. I'll see you later.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Good mess,
Take care.
Take care.
So, what's the field elevation there?
It's right off the close to sea level. I got to put my nav and graph. Let me pull up.
Okay, so the touchdown zone is 44 feet. Looks like the elevation. So. Yeah, I'd dial it to like 250 feet. It looks like basically they're telling you like the decision height on that one might be around like 2100 though at Hitley.
Right. Which would make sense because I mean there's not a whole lot of you get down close enough. There's not if the weather's garbage. Chances of getting below that, you don't want to get much below that with all the terrains.
Right, and that's probably what that is. So, circle the land. Yeah, so like the LNAV minimums are 2080. So that's, yeah. 2000. So yeah, so you're straight in landing runway 10 down there at the bottom left corner. So that's your minimum descent or your minimum decision altitude. So, I mean, you could dial it to that 2080, and if you can't see the field at that point, or you can try dialing it down to 250 feet and seeing if the aircraft will actually go down that far. It should.
Yeah, I'll play around with that. I'm looking forward to getting a better handle on the RNAV approach. Like I said, it's really not really frustrating. It's just like you'd like to pull off the RNAV approach, but if you don't know how to do it, it's like I got all these options for approaches, but all of them are RNAV listed.
When you do it, let me know, and let Willie know. I want to get back into 737, so I think that'd be fun.
Oh, okay.
How far is that flight?
Oh, it's like 90.
Oh, that's like up and down really quick.
Yeah, it's I think an actual plan they fly it at like 15,000 feet. It's pretty.
Sure. Huh. And now, like, if you're doing like an RNAV, if you're doing like an RNAV with the G1000 NXI, it does a little bit different because it actually like has like an intercept like kind of glide slope, so like you would hit approach, and it'll follow it down like it's a standard ILS, but yeah, on the 737 it's a little bit different.
I really like the moving maps that are on the Navigraph. That really makes it makes it nice to be able to confirm that I'm actually trying working the approach and then get a better sight picture of I should be in Zanzu, but my GPS says I'm not, so it gives me a good cross.
Right. Yeah.
Which runway are we all feeling like landing?
I'm not sure where I'm even at. I think I just passed the one airfield back there. The MJTA. Are you guys past that now?
Yeah, we're almost at the end airport.
Copy.
34 left looks good.
34 left, copy.
And maybe that dark star will get airborne at some point today.
Right.
Yeah.
God, these clouds are looking dark right here. Jeez.
Oh, and there goes me frame rates.
Yeah, mine just dipped as well. Don't look at the buildings. Don't look directly at them.
Yeah, don't look directly at the ground. God, yeah, there's so many. It's so dense. Maybe it's downtown. That's kind of...
Yeah, there's a lot of custom buildings down a Ferris
bridge.
wheel and a cable car.
Yeah. Nice bridge as well. Looks pretty steep to me.
Yeah, there still are some weird things with the LNAV and the 7. It's a lot better than it was, but sometimes you'll run into certain approaches, like the intercepts, or because you're not getting vectors, because generally, like, some of them, I think, like London, like Heathrow is one of them, where you'll generally get vectors after you reach a certain altitude, but if you just fly it without doing that, like, you'll basically hit the intercept way too high, or it basically says that you won't be able to match the descent angle and things like that. But
Yeah, with the exception of Anchorage, Fairbanks, everything else is, so below 6,000 feet, you're on your own. They don't have radar coverage, so you're not going to get vectors for the approach, which,
right.
Well, I bought my first tube yesterday, so that's my
Yeah, so you bought the 146, nice.
Yeah, it's only because it's got our research aircraft livery available now.
You're like, oh, well, like, I kind of have to now.
Well, yeah, one of their missions. I'm trying to get them to release some of their campaign missions. You know,
Nice.
Like 8-hour endurance flights over Southern Ocean at 50 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a couple of videos at work of them doing it, which I'm not allowed to release, unfortunately. But yeah, pilots just sat there hand flying it at 50 feet above the rolling Southern Ocean, and it's windy as hell.
That's crazy.
Aircraft's just shaking and banging. All the scientists in the back are hanging off dear life. People
Oh,
their
yeah,
kids
I
flying
bet.
about. Wow, it's
Jeez.
tough.
Pilots are just like, so how's your day going?
Yeah.
Good.
Good
Trying
day,
not to puke.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel sorry for them because some of the scientists who are on board, they're pretty young, not long out of university, and it's their first, actual science.
Like, what the
And,
hell did I get
Yeah,
into?
what did I get into? Yeah, when they're off like measuring sea salt in the air in the Caribbean, that's pretty cool because they only go out when it's windy. And the rest of the time, you just sat around waiting. But some of the Southern Ocean stuff is hardcore.
That's awesome. This is kind of cool coming down below the cloud layer and seeing the city back there and just hanging out. It's pretty neat.
Dark Star is just chilling.
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's
Still trying to work out how to get those engines started.
right. Yeah. How do I start this damn thing?
maybe he's having a hard time seeing the light.
Yeah. Ho ho ho. Da-dum-tsh.
0 week for the venison.
What is out there in the bay? Looks like a
It's a runway.
no.
It
Like
looks like a
off the-
sailboat.
It
but
looks
it's
like a
not.
sailboat.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a monument.
Is that what it is? Okay, I was too far out to tell what it was. I was like,
It's part of the sewage system. I read that somewhere.
part of the sewage system?
Yeah, I never really understood it, but I think it's some kind of ventilation shaft.
Yeah,
or
it's a-
something like that. I
Wow.
googled it because I found it so strange to have something like that in the middle of the bay. But
Interesting.
so it's not an artifact of some sort. It's really something that's for part of the infrastructure.
Yeah, there's a monument on there, but it's actually some kind of part of. There's actually a road tunnel that comes under
Interesting.
the bay there, so it's probably ventilation stroke, emergency access or something.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's something. It's like a wind trap or something.
Oh, it could be for ventilation, yeah. Come on, Edgy Bong, you can get that thing fired up.
Control E, buddy. You got it.
Maybe him and Gary are somehow,
Yeah. Gary's long lost cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll find Gary up there on the top of Denali in about 20 years when they're picking. There's no snow and ice left. You know,
Right.
all the change has exposed him, like the lakes have in California.
Bit of
Like
grass here.
Getting all the bodies.
Gotta end on some
Yeah.
grass. DN's floating.
I'm floating.
You're floating in the air.
You got an add-on airport, haven't you?
Yeah. It looks really nice too.
Yeah, I didn't think I could spare any more frames.
That's fair.
I suppose there's a lot of sushi bars in this town.
Maybe just a couple.
You.
Dragon's got his disco lights on. Party, party, party time.
Is somebody joined us in the Pelican?
I think the fumes are getting to him.
They are. I can't breathe. So much smoke.
And it is dark over the city. Wow.
Do you know the guy?
Nope.
Well, yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's
phone call,
not a
surely.
guy.
I was gonna say maybe he could share.
Yeah.
I think he already is.
Yeah.
You definitely share it.
Technically true.
Well, if you can't land straight and fairly, your usual high performance self will understand that you're under the influence.
Yeah.
A little bit short. Yeah, it's
More
actually nice.
worrisome is if you land better under influence than without.
Right.
Yeah, to be fair, Dragons, that was a good landing.
It was a decent landing. Yeah.
Quick, go and do a round of golf.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was nice to actually have some weather for a change.
Yeah.
It's actually a nice little cruiser. Glad I bought it.
Yeah, I think I'll wait till they fix the fuel issue.
That is fair.
I'll drop in here behind Wayland.
I'm taxiing around like I'm sitting next to Dragon, getting smoked out here. Gosh.
Y'all are floating? Nobody download the scenery? I mean, I get
Yeah.
it. I did say it was optional, but looks nice.
So what are we, Dragons? About halfway through now?
Yes, just about.
Good, good. It gets fun further north.
Yep.
Rexpo.
The only airport we will not be hitting is RJCK because I've heard there were some issues on Warbird Wednesday causing immediate CTDs on wheel touch. So we will skip.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nasty.
skip those.
Well,
Nasty way
so
to go.
I wonder if it's a closed runway or not.
Well,
no, I
it's
thought
a
that they had
bespoke
fixed
airport. It's a bespoke airport, so you'd
Oh.
think it would be okay, but it caused everyone
Yeah.
to immediately CTD upon touchdown.
that. Yeah, because there used to be a problem with if you landed on any runways that were closed that had X's on them, it would cause a CTD.
Hmm.
But that was like 5-6 months ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it was super weird.
Well, I do know that I tend to ignore these axes anyway, and I've never had such a crash. But I can't say when I was the last time I actually landed on it and close to it.
Yeah.
Another fine
Right.
light plane, Dragon.
Thank you, sir.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Pick it up again next week, gentlemen.
Yep.
Definitely.
Until
Yep.
next time.
Looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, take care, guys. Have a good week.
Have a good one.
Good week.
See y'all.
Everybody